Hello, my people. We're back in session again for another hopefully enlightening experience. And I hope everyone is doing well out there. I hope that you're making success in progress doing your genealogy and just uh, relearning yourself almost. And I just hope everybody out there is doing well. Today I was listening to a few TikTok lives and uh, they were pretty deep. Um, and you know what you have is a group of people who believe one thing and a group of people who believe something else. And honestly, I think that that's the way that it's always has been, and that's always the way that it will be. You know, I don't think there ever was a time where everybody was in total agreement with anything, anything. You can say, oh, well, everybody wants to live. Not everybody. Look at the suicide rate, you know. So keep up the journey. Stay on your path. Stay focused on what you know is making sense and resonating to you. You know, mostly it was just like a lack of knowledge. People think that if you're so-called black, that you're from Africa. I don't even like to use that term anymore, but I just use it so people can, you know, understand what I'm saying. Yeah, so the whole, oh, black, you're from Africa. And I guess I'm not surprised to see that a lot of people haven't woke up to that. I mean, what's, totally clear for you and like easy to see for somebody else is just like, it could be completely blind to that. And it doesn't mean that we're better than them or they're better than us or vice versa. It just, we see things differently. But they still, people still have to know that, that whole out of Africa theory was created by the same people who created the system to oppress us. I can't cite their names off the top, but you guys know who I'm referencing. I could put it in the comments and say they created that out of Africa theory. You have to know that the whole earth was inhabited by melanated beings, what you call blacks. You want to call them Moors with a double O or with a double U. That I kind of really brought to the highlight in a documentary done a while ago. Either way, the earth was populated by melanated beings. We all see today how the tectonic plates and the things shift and move around. So after millions and probably billions of years, things shifted and moved around. Cataclysmic events took place. nations were separated, continents were separated, great land masses were separated, total devastation. It's just pure survival mode. It used to be an island there. It's not there anymore. Maybe it went to the sea, or it used to be the coast. The coast isn't there anymore. It drifted off into the sea. Now it's an island. So many changes take place on the earth. It doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, these people that look like this and have this melanin in them came from a separate continent, what it looks like. That's false. That's misinformation. It's not true. And it's ignorant. You guys, wherever you were during the time of those tectonic plate shift, is where your ancestors and people were and are today. So I don't think that's hard to grasp. But to some people, like I was saying, they just want to see things their way and refuse to see it any other way. Then just so be it. You can't argue with them and debate with them. At the same time, you can't allow someone else to tell you who you are or deny you the right of self-determination, or, try to belittle your story, your ancestors, your lineage. I don't care what you read in public school or what the teacher told you in school, and I don't care what these scientists put out on a public paper. We know who we are. And our ancestors knew who they were and where they were from. And, and that's from here on this land. Some of us have ancestry from peoples who immigrated here. But speaking on the indigenous peoples of this land, the Copper Nijis, the American Negro, the colored, the mulatto, the black, and now African American, all of those classifications are just to strip you of your indigenous identity and take your claim to the land. The land is the wealth. That's where the freedom is. Because when you have land and you know how to cultivate it, you get everything from that, That's what the Almighty granted to us all. Your food, your clothing, your shelter, your joy, your happiness, everything. You could just create it. Nothing that we touch isn't coming from the earth. We come from the earth. The body does. Our physical being comes from the earth, but we all come from the Almighty. We all come from God. We all come from the Creator. And so we know who we are. You know who you are. Do your genealogy. Get your records in order so that you're standing on something solid, a proof of claim, of your peoples and your ancestors in existence here. And it really comes down to knowing what's going on, know how the system is operating, who's going to ever figure it all out. But you have to have some sense of what's going on, a compass, a blueprint. It's rules to a game. You don't just get in and play. You got to read the rules first, unless you're going to be taken advantage of. Like I always say, you everybody on the Monopoly board, and every time they pass go, they ain't getting their $200 because they don't know the rules, and somebody else is just pocketing that. You own all these properties, and people just landing on your property, but you don't know how to collect what's due to you. So, that's what happens. And that's what's happening right now, today. Yeah, so that's what it comes down to. Like, learning, studying the laws, the codes, the rules, so you have an idea of what's going on, so that when you do get everything together, you got your genealogy, you got your records, you got your land patents, you got everything. You know how to secure that properly. You know how to keep that and make sure that those things never happen again. You know how to stand on it and protect that. And there's a way to do that. Knowing the difference between public and private, and the way that the whole commercial system was set up, and being aware of the great spell that has been cast not only upon our people but all people, and that's the spell of ignorance, and not knowing really your true essence of who you really are, and the difference between you and a corporate fiction, the difference between you and the estate, you and that all caps corporate fiction. It has to be a separation psychologically, because we were born into this. We were born into that and never knew anything else. And if you don't know about that and learn how to correct it and leverage that, then really ultimately all your work can be stripped away. Everything that you've done could be stripped away. So, first we have to have knowledge of self. Know that we all are the offspring of the Most High, and we're granted certain rights that can't be taken away. And those are the rights that we stand on, as well as our bloodline ancestral rights to the land, the titles, the deeds, all of that. We are the heirs, the beneficiaries, and trustees, stewards, so I think that that's the most important key. You can't play Monopoly without knowing the rules, and so you got to know that it's a game first going on. And saying it's a game doesn't mean that it's weak and it doesn't have power, because it's not weak and it does have power. But you don't have to be a victim or a subject of it. You can step in the executor office into a higher paradigm and control things, so where that is benefiting you and your offspring and your estate and your legacy, and move forward privately, staying out the way. And then after you have established and secured yourself and your household, your estates, your offspring, everything's secure, land, fee simple title, allodial, everything held in trust, and now you have the opportunity to open the doors to other families who have walked the path that you walked. Create a sanctuary, create a place, the indigenous communities that we had before. Or stay private and live your best life. But I just wanted to share this information as an offering because I care and I love to see not only our people prosper and rise up out of this situation, but all humanity prosper. You know, I like to see everybody happy. But addressing this situation with the indigenous Aboriginal Americans, the so-called Black American, or quote unquote African American. Okay, this is our land, all right? And this is our home, and we have a right to assert that claim, and we're entitled to compensation as well. So keep up the good work. If you're interested in a consultation, you can DM me. I do have opportunities available. I've been studying for about 10 years. I've had a lot of successes, and it's still a long way to go. It's a lifestyle, you know. It's not like, oh, I just got there, you know. It's, you know, no one is ever a master, right? But we do have a lot of investment opportunities, various trust structures, and I like to just say private administrative remedies. Okay, so it's a wide range of things that we can assist with privately. Yes, my people. So live your best life. Where attention goes, energy goes. Just keep focusing on your goals and being the best that you can be, you know. And that's all.